Okay, we are here with Josiah Mackenzie. Josiah, is it right, your name?
Got it.
Okay. The publisher of Hotel Marketing Strategies blog, and would like to ask you some questions about, in particular, social media, like Twitter and Facebook mainly. First of all, hoteliers, especially in Italy, usually take care about, use Facebook and Twitter to engage clients and promote their hotel. But what other social media or social networks would you recommend to a hotelier? What one would you think would be more useful?
Well, I think when you think about what network should we be participating on, you have to kind of make that decision by thinking about who your guests are and who you're looking for, because it often varies from hotel to hotel what channel that they want to get information from.
Yeah.
And so I think if they're on Facebook already, that's a good place to begin. If they're on Twitter, that's a good place to be. But I found it varies so much, it's hard to give one recommendation that applies to everyone.
Yeah.
So I think you have to get really close to your customer, even ask them in person. If you want to connect with us on social media, how are you going to do that, or what do you prefer?
Okay, thank you. Have you actually tested success or failure strategies with your clients that you can share with us? Is there something that you are sure it works or
Sure,
not?
it works, yes. Well, again, it often varies from situation to situation, but what we find is that providing service and selling through service works the best. And so maybe you won't make a sale directly from Twitter, but you'll provide such a good service and great experience for the people that you're connecting with that they're going to tell their friends about you, and they're going to, when they're visiting your part of the world, when they're visiting your city, they make sure that they make a reservation with you. So what I find works best is selling through service, and so making sure that whether it's on Facebook or Twitter, we're making sure that we're helping the people that we're trying to serve.
Okay, yeah. What about some of our clients have a very high ranking on TripAdvisor, for example, and I don't think it's useful to be on social media. But do you think now our hotel can be successful even not being on social media at all and just working on its quality?
I'm going to say yes, even though I'm a social media proponent, just because in some cases the people that they're trying to reach are not on social media. So it really depends who you're trying to reach and what they're looking for. Some of the smaller luxury properties only want to be through membership clubs or associations and have guests come this way, but others exclusively use social media for promotion. So you need to think about what do our guests want and look, and what's our concept of our hotel. Is this going to be good? And if, for example, if you have a great reputation on TripAdvisor, I kind of view TripAdvisor as a social media channel. It's a little bit reputation, but
social media.
Exactly, it's right. You have to. I think social media is sort of a bigger concept. It's really about connecting people online. So it may not be a tool. It's more of a concept of getting people to share their experience online.
Yes, it's true. In Italy, we have witnessed just a few success cases, for maybe on Facebook and Twitter, probably because hoteliers are not used to take advantage of this new media yet. But what about America? Have you noticed the majority of hotels or of your clients are using the best practices on social media, or do you think they still have to work on it?
I think they still need to work on it. I mean, around the world, I operate in the Middle East and Asia and Europe and the US, and I find that it's not so much of a country thing, it's more of the mentality of the people behind it. So you have some managers around the world that are very much using social media and some of the new web to reach out and serve their customers, and there's people who are not using it around the world too. I mean, America is not special in that regard. I think you have people in the US that are not using any new media at all, and like I find that's not so much of a regional thing, it's more the mentality of the people running the hotels. And so you see innovation coming from Asia, from Africa, from Europe, and the US. It's all over the world. So it's not one country that's better than another. It's really case by case. I see it all over the place.
Yeah, but usually we see Italy a step behind. It's quite frustrating sometimes to see something coming out in America and also in Italy, and teaching people how to understand it. So.
Right, well, I think it's good to have an international approach to the extent that some countries do innovate certain technologies, because I know the U.S. was substantially behind Asia and Europe when it comes to the adoption of mobile, and so we were probably 10 years behind some of you coming in. That's the divide has caught up a little bit, but I think whatever technology you're in, try to look around the world to see what companies, what countries tend to be using that, because I know looking at Japan, for example, a lot of startup U.S. companies have looked at Japan as a way to sort of see into the future almost, and so I think it's good to have that international perspective when it comes to digital marketing.
That's true, very important. Okay, what about calculating a social media return on investment? I think it's quite impossible. Maybe you can calculate a return on influence or engagement. What do you think about this? Do you have any metrics that you consider most important than others?
Metrics are important. I think metrics are a great tool for management to see if they're making progress in an area. So it comes back to what's most important to you. If customer service is most important, then maybe you're measuring the time to response, or like by the time someone sends out a message on Twitter, how long does it take for us to get back and respond to some of those inquiries. When it comes to a strict return on investment for how many sales are we making, like you say, it's a little bit difficult because we know that people are going through about 8 internet research sessions before they make a booking, and so they're checking out a lot of different websites, and you don't know what point that led to the booking, and because they might visit dozens of different websites, and so which one of those do you credit? Is it the original one? Is it the last one they made before coming and making the booking? It's hard to say, and so some people look at it as more of a PR or like a public relations or media strategy where we're doing all this stuff and we want to get coverage online or in traditional media, and it's more of a kind of initiative that way. So it depends on what your organization's goals are.
Okay, we have written an article on our blog saying that, in our opinion, social media like Facebook and Twitter, so mainly social networks, can be considered like customer relationship management tools. Do you think it's right?
Well, some CRM software I know is integrating social media, but I feel that in the hospitality industry we're a little bit not exploring as many benefits as we could be. They're on the revenue management panel that happened before my presentation. They were talking about how as hotels we have so much information on our guests. We have their passport number, we know their address, we know what country they're coming from, but we're not really taking advantage of customizing and tailoring our promotional strategies based on this. And so maybe we can do a little better job of creating very personalized messaging, whether it's through Twitter or email or mobile communications, but don't just send the same thing to everyone. Make it very personalized, and so it feels like it's coming from me. It's relevant.
That's good. Yeah, you have to be a person within a hotel,
Exactly.
So, perfect. Well, thank you very much for your answers. It was a pleasure to meet you.
Thank you. It was a pleasure to meet you.
Thank you.